everyone. I'm Nicole Watson in Atlanta. Welcome to U.S. Olympic Gold. Mike Tyson once said that every tongue must confess, every head must bow. Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time. Well, before he became a legend, a young Cassius Clay won the U.S. boxing championships back in 1959 and 60. And since then, more great boxers have followed suit. Sugar Ray Leonard won it in 75. Evander the Real Deal Holyfield took the title in 83. And Oscar de la Hoya had the crown at 17 years old in 1990. Now it's time for a new generation. And one of today's bouts will introduce you to Fernando Vargas. He's got the quickness of Sugar Ray, technique like De La Hoya, and is said to be developing the verbal savvy of Ali. All that at the tender age of 16. Mel Proctor and Kevin Kiley give you a closer look at today's young athletes that are looking to be legendary in the U.S. Boxing Championships.
Thanks, Nicole, and welcome to Clune Arena on the grounds of the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado, the site of the 1994 U.S. Boxing Championships. Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Proctor, and youth has been served at the 94 championships. Of the 24 boxers in the final 12 bouts, 11 are 18 years of age or younger. Now, with me tonight is Kevin Kiley, who is nowhere near 18 years old. But, Kevin, this is a very young field, including a pair of 16-year-olds. And perhaps the most impressive is one of those 16-year-old lads, Fernando Vargas of Los Angeles.
Well, you're right, Mel. Vargas is the youngest boxer in the tournament, and he beat the defending national titleist at 132 pounds, Abayomi Miller, to get into the finals. Now, Vargas is a fellow that's going to remind you of a former gold medal winner at the same weight, 132 pounds, that being Oscar de la Hoya, also of Los Angeles.
And a homegrown product, another youngster, 18-year-old Shane Swartz of Fort Collins, Colorado. We'll have a large contingent of fans and relatives here tonight.
Well, Shane Swartz is Mr. Excitement. He's a pure slugger at 165 pounds, but there was some controversy about his right knuckle. It was operated on in late January. He wasn't supposed to hit even the heavy bag until April, and yet he's able to come to this tournament. Not one boxer has lasted the 3 rounds with him. The controversy is over. He'll go tonight, and we had an opportunity to talk to Shane Swartz about his injured right hand earlier. How is the knuckle?
It's feeling pretty good. It's having...
For the championship, 132 pounds, 2 youngsters, 16-year-old Fernando Vargas of Los Angeles, the young man being billed as the next Oscar de la Hoya, and his opponent from Philadelphia, Terrance Cauthen, who is 17 years of age. Terrance Cauthen, who trains at Smokin' Joe Frazier's gym. He said Frazier's told him to never give up and to work hard, and Fernando Vargas has trained with Oscar de la Hoya 3 weeks ago. They worked out together at Big Bear in California. Jeff Macaluso of Tacoma, Washington is the referee for this bout.
Oh, this ought to be a beauty. Vargas, one of the up-and-comers, and he beat one of the really fine amateur boxers in this country, Abayomi Miller, the defending national champion. He beat him in the semifinal.
Beat him 39-23. Vargas in the blue, kid with a great smile and a winning personality, a lot like Oscar de la Hoya in that respect. Tremendous personality. Both boxers feeling each other out a little bit in the early going. Vargas now wading in and landing.
Oh, great quickness by Vargas. A couple of scoring blows. Again, the scoring area, the singlet, the front of the shoulders, the head, the white part of the glove. That's how you score a point.
Right by Cauthen.
Cauthen, good counter right. Vargas coming in.
Vargas landing a right to the head of Cauthen.
Very quick with the right lead is Fernando Vargas.
It's interesting. Terrance Cauthen and Ivan Robinson are good friends. Robinson, a former U.S. champion, who had many bouts against Oscar de la Hoya in U.S. championships and the Goodwill Games a few years ago. And Robinson gave him some advice coming into the championships, telling him to keep his hands up, to not get caught holding and to stay busy, which is how you win, by staying busy and piling up points.
You know, they're comparing Vargas to Oscar. Vargas right away is tougher, is stronger than Oscar was at this point. Oscar, when I first saw him, was about 17 or 18 years of age, and he was a technician. Vargas is a brawler.
Vargas ahead 6-1 so far. These are 2 good-looking young boxers.
Cauthen is a southpaw, and of course that would make him at risk for the right lead, and Vargas has used that right lead. There it is again, that straight right. With the left-hander, he lines up open to a right hand right there again, right to the face of Cauthen. He needs to step to his left if he's going to get away and then counter with the left. Cauthen has not yet done that.
And Cauthen was just cautioned for the second time for holding. 3 cautions for the same foul will result in a warning, and a boxer can lose points.
There's no way Cauthen could stand in front of Vargas and be a left-hander and allow Vargas with that great hand speed to throw the right.
Computerized scoring is in effect. 5 judges scoring this bout. The computer pads have red and blue buttons, and the judges push the buttons depending upon which boxer lands a scoring blow in the estimation of the judges. And if 3 judges push the button, the same button, within 1 second of each other, it counts as a scoring blow.
That's an important point in this bout because it's a lot easier to see the right thrown to the open left-hand stance than it is to see the other punches. There it is again, and a good counter by Cauthen. Yeah, good left. Excuse me, a right jab by Cauthen.
Surprisingly, as young as these two are, no signs of nervousness in round 1. They got busy very early.
Very focused.
And both have had their moments in this opening round. Terrance Cauthen, who trains at Smokin' Joe Frazier's gym. Frazier, as you might expect, is his idol. Fernando Vargas' idol is Julio Cesar Chavez.
That's a pretty good couple of idols there. I think by the end of this one, Cauthen might be wishing he had Joe in there with him on his side.
Vargas looked like he was in the starting block, ready to sprint out of his corner when this round started. Cauthen countering very well off the ropes. Vargas getting a little wild in his aggressiveness.
Well, he knows he's got him backing up, and he knows he can tee off on him. Cauthen hasn't proven he can score or hurt Vargas, and Vargas, even though he's young, 16 on December 7th. He's just 16. Another right hand there by Vargas. This is not a guy who's been 16 for a long time. I mean, he's not even eligible for international bouts until he's 17.
Vargas stalking Cauthen. Cauthen's head movement is pretty good. He's able to just flick his head to the side and prevent some punches from landing. None of those landed.
I see a lot more aggression in Vargas than I did in Oscar De La Hoya. Again, De La Hoya was a much smoother boxer, and Vargas is more of a controlled fury.
But really a key to amateur boxing is you've got to be a boxer rather than a slugger, because you've got to land punches and pile up points. For instance, if you knock your opponent down, that punch counts no more than any other scoring blows. It's very different than professional boxing.
There's a good right hand by Cauthen. You're right, Mel. And another good shot by Cauthen.
Combination by Terrance Cauthen.
Another good right hook by Cauthen.
Vargas missing with most of his punches. It's a dangerous thing in the amateur ranks to try to load up and take your opponent out. It's a good way to lose a bout.
And that's a good point. That's what Vargas is doing here in the second round.
First of all, with the protected headgear, it's very difficult to knock your opponent out. Less than a minute remaining in round 2. Terrance Cauthen of Philadelphia in red. Fernando Vargas of Los Angeles in blue.
That right lead got him twice again. Vargas connecting with the right lead, which has been there the entire bout.
Good countering by Cauthen.
Now, Cauthen is a technician. Cauthen doing a nice job.
Caution to Terrance Cauthen for hitting with the inside of the glove.
Let me hear that again. A caution to Cauthen.
Caution to Cauthen. Say that 5 times.
No, I can't.
Toy boat, toy boat. Nothing really landing in that exchange, although Vargas just landed a right. Oh, there's a staggering right, and he will take a standing 8. Looked like Cauthen was a little off balance. For the most part, his balance has been pretty good, but his feet were close together, and Vargas caught him with a solid right to the chin.
He hit him with a left and then a right. Well, you see the power there, and that's really what Fernando Vargas was trying to do throughout the second round. Big score difference, and that's mostly because of the styles. Again, boxing is styles. You have the left-hander with the open stance, and Vargas has in his repertoire that right lead, and he's been able to use it to his benefit throughout. Now there's the left that kind of knocked Cauthen a little bit off balance, and then the right. And you were right, Mel. Cauthen was off balance with the pawing left, but then Vargas comes back beautifully with the right.
Just reading Cauthen's expression, you could tell he was...
See how he opens up? See how the left-hander opens up? He just opens up beautifully for that right lead, and it's been that way throughout the bout.
Cauthen appeared to be frustrated reading the expression on his face. I think he felt he made a mistake in losing his balance. That cost him.
Well, he's at a huge disadvantage. Normally, a left-hander against a young boxer would have an advantage. That's not happening here.
Third and final round at 132 pounds. Terrance Cauthen of Philadelphia in red. Fernando Vargas of Los Angeles in blue. Vargas again rushing out of his corner. Vargas, who started boxing at the age of 10, he watched an amateur tournament on his local television station, was inspired by it, thought he'd enjoy it, went to the ring, and has been there ever since. And he has a very bright future.
Mom didn't like it, so she saw him box a few times and then decided she did like it. She's right behind him now.
Boxers standing toe-to-toe and trading blows that time. Vargas trying to cut off the ring. Cauthen up on his toes, trying to get some movement.
But he comes down immediately and stands in front of Vargas, which is not the thing to do. Now step to the left and keep going.
Warning. And a warning to Terrance Cauthen for holding. That'll cost him a point. If the judges accept the recommendation of the referee, and normally they do, about 90% of the time, points will be deducted. And Cauthen is already way behind, so
yeah,
that's
point's not going to decide this bout. Look at the focus on Vargas. Just look at the eye and the head and he's got that look in his eye. The focus has been great. When you think about his age, he's been 16 for barely 2 months. A remarkable athlete.
You know, to me, it's a sense of deja vu watching these two. Vargas from Los Angeles, as was Oscar De La Hoya.
Right, you're
Cauthen
right.
from Philadelphia, as was Ivan Robinson. And Robinson, De La Hoya had a great rivalry for 4 or 5 years in the amateur ranks.
And De La Hoya dominated and was actually the bigger of the two, which is another similarity.
But one of the best bouts I ever saw was in the Goodwill Games in Seattle. Ivan Robinson and Oscar De La Hoya for the championship. 2 Americans. It was a pick'em situation. They were both brilliant. Robinson thought he won the bout, but the decision was awarded to De La Hoya. And both are now enjoying successful pro careers.
And of course, Ivan, let's just look at the score. Vargas is dominating. And then Ivan didn't make the Olympic team. It was a huge surprise. He was upset. Oscar did and won the gold.
So we could have a similar type rivalry developing here between these two. Less than a minute remaining in the bout.
I think Vargas is going to grow. I don't think he's going to be 132 for long at 16 years of age. I think Cauthen, it looks like he may be slight throughout his career, but not Vargas. Vargas looking like a middleweight to me when he gets done growing.
A very big frame, upper body, wide shoulders. Looks like he could carry a lot more weight.
In reality, he's 50, just a little bit past 15, so he's remarkable.
Final 30 seconds. Good right hand by Vargas.
And that thing's quick, too, when it comes out of there.
And Cauthen lands. Caution to Cauthen for holding behind the head.
Well, a name you may want to remember out there, that this may be your first look at him, Fernando Vargas. You'll see him a lot more. This kid has got a great future.
So it appears the 132-pound division is in good hands with these two youngsters, 17-year-old Terrance Cauthen and 16-year-old Fernando Vargas.
Tonight on that New Mexico's ever seen. West Side.
We are with Fernando Vargas, the winner at 132 pounds. And Fernando, we talked about the similarities between you and Oscar De La Hoya. I know you've spent some time with Oscar. Have you patterned your style at all after his?
Well, I see that he's a very good fighter, and I see him real, like, he keeps on improving every time he fights. And so every time I see him fight, I try to copy a few moves of him, just so I can look better myself in my performance.
All right, now we're going to take a look at a devastating, it appeared to be a left-right combination that staggered Terrance Cauthen, and he had to take a standing 8. Tell us what happened.
Well, see, yeah, I was setting him up. I was trying to counter him, and then I saw him open because he would drop his jab. So I would try to counter over the right hand. See how he'll leave his left. See, it wouldn't be straight forward. It would just be a little bit low.
Fernando, it's interesting to me that he was a left-hander and he stood right in front of you and he was open, and you used that right lead throughout the bout. And at your age, just a little bit past 15 years of age, at 16, it was interesting that you could decipher his style so quickly.
Well, yeah, he was. I've been fighting already with 3 southpaws in a row, and my right hand is starting to hurt a little bit. But I found out right away that his jab would drop every single time I throw it. He would throw it. So I would always try to counter over that left hand.
Fernando, congratulations. The future very bright for you. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
These are heavyweight.